Gentlemen, HIV isn't a headline from the past. It's here, and it's quiet. Would you recognize its first whisper? In 2023, the U.S. recorded roughly 38,800 new diagnoses. About 81% were in men, and the South carried over half of the burden. More than 1.13 million Americans are living with HIV. The trap is the early phase. The first 2 to 4 weeks can look like a nagging flu, exactly when transmission risk is highest and doubt feels harmless. I'm Dr. Jame, and today I'll walk you through the 8 early signs men ignore, the timing window, how to test at the right moment, and a final practical tool that lets you move toward intimacy with steadiness instead of fear. If this resonates, hit subscribe and drop a 1, so I know to build more for you. Your click fuels more videos. Stay with me. One change now can reshape your next 10 years. Gentlemen, have you ever asked how HIV actually attacks your body? Before we talk solutions, let me give you a clear, simple map of the battlefield, because this is the pathway that, if ignored, leads to AIDS. HIV is a virus that targets your CD4 T cells, the frontline soldiers of your immune system. It enters the cell, hijacks its machinery, and forces it to make copies of the virus. Bit by bit, your defenses thin out, infections slip through, and long-term neglect can progress to AIDS. Equally important is how HIV does not spread. You will not get HIV from a handshake, a hug, sharing utensils, or a casual kiss. Everyday contact is safe, and I want you to carry that with confidence. Transmission requires certain body fluids and a real doorway in. That means blood, semen, vaginal fluids, rectal fluids, or breast milk, contacting mucosa or open cuts. Risk rises sharply when there is inflammation or micro tears, because those tiny injuries act like unlocked gates. Here is a useful picture. Think of your immune system as a disciplined security team. HIV shows up wearing a stolen badge, slips past the checkpoint, and quietly disarms the guards from the inside. If that definition landed clearly, drop a positive sticker in the comments. If you want me to expand this section in a follow-up, comment "Add more," Bo Sung, and tell me which part was unclear. Understanding the inner war helps you read the early outer signals. Your body leaves clues before the labs do. Often. Men and women hear this from a calm place. The danger peak comes early, 2 to 4 weeks after risky contact. In that short span, HIV replicates quickly and can spread before anyone suspects a thing. Clinically, we call it seroconversion. Viral load rises, antibodies are only beginning, and the immune system is still organizing. That mismatch creates a window where transmission is easier, even if you feel fine. The signs pretend to be ordinary life. Fever, sore throat, body aches, swollen nodes, and heavy fatigue can mimic a seasonal bug. Some people sail through with barely a hint, which is why delays happen. If you have 2 or 3 of these symptoms soon after a risk, do not minimize them. Put pride aside and make a testing plan while protecting partners. Avoidance today can become social distance tomorrow if disease progresses. If you feel well, I am happy for you and want you informed. If you feel unwell, breathe, write down dates, and take the next step. This is not about fear. It is about responsible calm and caring for your circle. Treat this period as a golden checkpoint. Note the exposure date, list symptoms, and schedule a 4th-generation test on your calendar. If the exposure was recent and significant, ask about PEP within 72 hours. You cannot rewind the moment, but you can choose the next one wisely. That is how adults handle uncertainty with dignity and care. The most contagious days often look like an ordinary cold. You have 60 seconds. Listen closely and check yourself right now. These are the early, high-risk clues more than 90% of men overlook. Fever that lingers beyond 1 to 2 weeks, with or without chills. When heat won't break and keeps cycling back, your immune system is waving a flag. Lymph nodes that stay enlarged or tender in the neck, armpits, or groin. Firm, dull, persistent swelling means the defense line is under pressure, not a simple bruise. Bone-deep fatigue that sleep does not fix. If a normal day now feels uphill, your system may be spending energy fighting what you can't see. Muscle or joint aches that feel like a long flu without a clear injury. Inflammation from an early immune battle often looks exactly like this. Scattered skin rash or unexpected sensitivity, especially in the early weeks. Skin is the window to inside inflammation. Don't ignore new, non-itchy red patches or tender areas. A chronic dry cough that ignores the usual remedies. If inhalers, antibiotics, or time haven't helped, that stubborn cough deserves a fresh evaluation. Digestive changes such as diarrhea or nausea, lasting more than a few days without a cause. Track frequency and hydration. Unexplained gut issues often accompany immune stress. Night sweats that soak sheets even in a cool room. Waking drenched repeatedly is not just weather. It is a physiologic alarm worth noting. Do any of these land close to home? If you notice one or two, tell me in the comments so I can guide your next step. If you notice none, I'm happy for you. Please share this with someone who might need it. One share can quite literally change the course of another person's life. Important, you do not need all 8. 2 or 3 persistent signs combined with a recent risk are enough to act like an adult and make a testing plan. 2 or 3 small signs repeated. That is your early siren. Pay attention to patterns, timing, and persistence, and your body will speak before the lab printout does. Next step is simple. Write down exposure date, list symptoms with start and stop times, and circle today's plan. Until you know for sure, protect partners, skip risky contact, and schedule a 4th-generation test. Calm action beats anxious guessing every time. Listen, don't linger. I'll show you when to act, so fear doesn't run the show. If you've had a risk and now notice patterns, it's time to move. Couples, this is for you too. Here's the truth from a clinician's desk. Do not let a virus grow because you were scared to face it. When you understand the steps and take them early, it shrinks fast. Act now if 2 or 3 signs persist and you had exposure. That means unprotected sex, a new or multiple partner, condom break, or shared needles. Plan a test and protect partners until you have a result. This is what action looks like today. Open your Notes app and create a simple log. Record the estimated exposure date, the first day of symptoms, any medications you tried, and the state of your skin or mucosa. If anxiety spikes, talk to a clinician or a trusted clinic. Ask specifically about 4th-generation testing and whether RNA testing makes sense. If exposure was within 72 hours, ask about PP immediately. Write it down. Facts calm the mind. Lists beat spirals and a plan beats the late-night search rabbit hole. You are not your fear. You are your choices. To the person in the thick of it right now, hear me. I know the pit in your stomach and the what-if loop. Push through it and you will see a brighter lane ahead, with room for your goals again. Action beats anxiety, every single time. Take the step today and let tomorrow bring data, not dread. Here is your clear, step-by-step plan. Follow it exactly and you'll move from fear to facts quickly. Do not stop early, because at the end of this block I'll unlock the tool that ties it all together. This plan favors clarity, speed, and practical next steps. Week 3 to 4 after a potential exposure, schedule a 4th-generation antigen.antibody test. This combo can turn positive early, and it is widely available in U.S. clinics and labs. If your anxiety is high or the exposure was significant, ask whether an HIV RNA test is appropriate. At week 6, repeat the 4th-generation test to raise confidence and catch late seroconversion. Most people who will test positive have done so by now, which is why the 6-week mark lowers uncertainty. Keep protecting partners until you have a clear result. At month 3, if there has been no new exposure, a negative 4th-generation test is highly reassuring. Use this as a closure point, and then move to a routine schedule that matches your life and risk. If your situation changes, update the timeline, not your values. If your exposure was within 72 hours, contact a clinic immediately to discuss PEEP. Post-exposure prophylaxis is a short course that can prevent infection when started on time. PEEP is urgent care for the immune system, not a substitute for consistent prevention. Here is the unlocked promise. I will show you the 60-6-3 rule, a testing roadmap that cuts decision anxiety by roughly 80%, so you don't test too early and still miss what matters. The 60-6-3, in plain English, 60 hours to consider PEP after a significant exposure. 6 weeks to repeat your 4th-generation test, even if you feel fine. 3 months as your peace of mind checkpoint provided there is no new exposure. If this timeline helps, comment peace of mind and tell me where you are in the 60-6-3 rule. Your note guides what I explain next and helps others see the path. You are not alone. You are simply early, which is the smartest place to be. Here is a daily blueprint for every man and for any woman who cares for one. If nothing has happened yet, great. These habits are your best protection. If speaking directly feels awkward, share this segment and start the routine together. Condom plus lubricant is non-negotiable for new or casual encounters. Lube reduces friction and micro-tears, which lowers the chance that viruses or bacteria find a doorway. If a condom breaks, stop, change, re-lube, and reset your boundaries before continuing. Care for skin and mucosa like you care for your eyes. Skip harsh soaps, alcohol wipes, or aggressive scrubbing in sensitive areas. Avoid close shaving before intimacy. Tiny cuts are easy entrances you cannot see. Treat sexually transmitted infections promptly and as a pair. Gonorrhea, chlamydia, and syphilis inflame tissue and raise HIV risk. Testing and treatment should include partners to prevent ping-pong infection. If symptoms linger or return, recheck rather than guessing from memory. Train your immunity with ordinary discipline. Sleep 7 to 9 hours, move your body most days, eat protein, fiber, and colorful plants, and manage stress with breathing or a simple walk. Hydration and alcohol limits matter more than fancy supplements. Make recovery a habit too. After sex or the gym, do a quick lukewarm rinse, pat dry, and change out of damp clothes. Moist, warm environments are where yeast and fungi make trouble. Put it all on a simple checklist you actually use. Schedule routine screening every 6 months if your lifestyle warrants. Habits you track become habits you keep, and prevention becomes automatic over time. If you miss a day, start again the next. Consistency, not perfection, builds safety. Small, boring habits, massive, long-term protection. This section is for the guys whose nerves run ahead of the facts. Plenty of well-meaning friends or loud strangers improvise scary stories. They jump past the line, and your brain pays the price. Start with what does not transmit HIV. You will not get HIV from a public chair, a swimming pool, or a toilet seat. You will not get it from mosquitoes, sharing food, or a quick, closed-mouth kiss. Transmission needs 2 things at the same time: the right body fluids and a real doorway in. Think blood, semen, vaginal fluids, rectal fluids, or breast milk. Think mucous membranes or open cuts, not intact skin or air. Most everyday scenes do not provide both ingredients. A rumor that ignores biology deserves a polite shrug and a boundary. Save your energy for choices that matter. Now to the anxiety loop. Imagined risk multiplies in silence and late-night searches. Biologic risk is specific, testable, and smaller than your fear once you write it down. Use this quick filter. Ask, where were the fluids and what was the entry point? If you cannot name both clearly, the risk is effectively zero in ordinary life. Remember, rational beats viral what-ifs. Facts steady your voice. They also protect partners better than panic ever could. If this part made you feel steadier, drop a funny, positive sticker in the comments so I know it landed. If you still feel unsure, say which scenario worries you, and I will address it directly in plain English. Your confidence grows when information matches real-world behavior. Practice the basics, stick to your testing timeline, and let myths die from lack of attention. You deserve calm, practical answers today. Fear thrives in the gaps. Facts close them. Men, let's talk as adults who care about our futures. Open, respectful conversation with your partner is not just safety, it is intimacy. When there are no secrets, connection grows stronger, not weaker. Use simple, respectful language. I'm getting tested this week. Would you be open to doing it together? That sentence reduces guesswork, builds trust, and keeps both of you aligned. Make it a bridge with 3 steps you can remember. Talk, test, trust. Talk first so no one is surprised or defensive. Test together so results guide choices, not rumors. Trust the plan you agreed on and follow through. If saying it out loud feels awkward, share this segment with your partner. Note the timestamp and tell them why it matters to you. Let the video do the heavy lifting, then finish the conversation in your own words. Create a routine if your lifestyle includes new partners or higher risk settings. Every 3 to 6 months is a practical cadence for many adults. Put reminders on your phones and make it a part of the relationship culture. Be specific about boundaries and recovery. Condoms, lube, and quick cleanup are habits of care, not accusations. If either of you has symptoms or a recent risk, pause intimacy and test. Honesty builds a safer life than paranoia ever will. Say what you mean, ask for what you need, and listen. That is how grown-ups protect health, respect desire, and keep love steady. Truly. Here is a snapshot I share with patience. Mark is 32, a bar manager. After an unprotected weekend, he noticed a fever and tender nodes, then pushed it aside. 1 week later, he wrote the dates down and booked a 4th-generation test. The first test was negative but early. He protected partners, skipped risky contact, and returned at week 6. That test turned positive for HIV. He met the clinic team the same day and started modern antiretroviral therapy. We built a routine he could live with. Daily medication with phone reminders, condoms and lube as default, 3-month follow-ups for labs and counseling. At week 12, his viral load was undetectable. At 6 months, still undetectable, with stronger energy and steadier mood. He kept his job, told one trusted friend, and had open adult conversations with a new partner. They built intimacy on talk, test, trust, not fear. Here's the part many men miss. Undetectable equals untransmittable, or you. That means when the virus is suppressed to undetectable levels and you stay on therapy, you do not sexually transmit HIV. HIV was not the end of Mark's story. Ignoring it would have been. He chose early testing, daily treatment, and honest boundaries. The result was health, work, and love that felt normal again. You can find the same calm. Follow the steps you heard today and let the numbers guide you. Undetectable isn't just a number, it's your life back. You can be steady again with specific, simple actions, truly. Thank you for staying with me to the end. Your patience today could become the turning point of the next 10 years. Here is what to remember, so you leave calmer, clearer, and in control. If none of this fits you, I'm glad. Share it forward to someone who might need it. If 2 or 3 points do fit, write down dates and make a plan today. Action beats anxiety. First, recognize the 8 early signs men often miss: fever, swollen nodes, bone-deep fatigue, muscle or joint aches, scattered rashes, chronic dry cough, digestive changes, and night sweats that drench sheets. Second, respect the 2 to 4 week window after risk. That early phase can look like an ordinary cold while contagiousness is highest, which is why timing and planning matter more than guesswork or late-night searches that fuel anxiety. Third, follow the 60-6-3 framework and consider PEP within 72 hours if exposure was significant. 60 hours to ask about PEP, 6 weeks to repeat the 4th generation test, and 3 months as a peace of mind checkpoint with no new exposures. Fourth, build daily risk reducers and treat STIs promptly because inflammation and micro-tears open doors. Condoms and lubricant, gentle skin care, shared treatment for partners, sleep, movement, nutrition, and quick post-activity cleanup are simple habits that protect your future. Fifth, practice talk, test, trust with people you care about, and remember the destination. You equals you. When therapy drives viral load to undetectable and you stay adherent, you do not sexually transmit HIV, and life can feel steady again. Subscribe to help this message reach the right person at the right time. Your one click can ease someone's 3-month anxiety and support a calmer conversation. Awareness is protection. Act early, live stronger, and let facts, not fear, set your next step for you and others today.